Well, hi friends. Welcome to Compassion Camp Week 5. This is our last week. Over the last 4 weeks, we've learned that compassion is about empathy, and empathy is about welcoming and seeing how other people are feeling and knowing that we can empathize with them because we know what it feels like to feel sad or happy or hurt or angry or whatever it is that we see that they're feeling, we can feel that with them. We've also learned that compassion sometimes means being brave. Sometimes it means that we see somebody and we're not sure how they're going to react if we show compassion to them. Or we're not sure how our friends are going to react if we show compassion to that new person that we've never met before. But we have to be brave and step out and take the risk. We also learned that the first step in showing compassion is to show compassion and love to ourselves. And that when we take care of ourselves and when we show love to ourselves, that then we have enough love for that love and compassion to overflow into love and compassion for other people. Because love is about loving God first and then loving ourselves so that we can love others. Then last week we learned about compassion and being present with one another. And we learned about Ruth and Naomi and how Ruth and Naomi both and Orpah and how they were present with one another in a really hard, sad time. And how even though they chose different ways to deal with their sadness, they still really cared for one another in that deep time of sadness. Well, this week is our last week, and we're going to learn that the last piece of compassion is about Jubilee. Now, I don't know how many of you have heard the word Jubilee before, but Jubilee is a word that kind of has two different pieces to it. One piece of Jubilee is celebration. It kind of sounds like a celebratory word, doesn't it? Jubilee, it's a fun word to say. And the other piece of Jubilee is rest. Well, so I have something on the table here right in front of me. And this is something that I got this past week. This past week, I went to a celebration, a very, very special one. And this was something that I brought home from it. I went, can any of you guess where I went? Just based on my special prize that I brought home from it? Well, if you guessed a wedding, you'd be right. So you'll see this picture that my husband will put up next to me of a beautiful wedding that I went to this past week of my beautiful niece Katie and her husband Landon. Weddings are special, special celebrations. They are celebrations of the new beginning, the new start of a couple as husband and wife, the new life that they'll have together. But you know what? Weddings can be overwhelming because they are a lot of work. Do you know how many weeks and months it takes to get all of the places scheduled? And you have to schedule the place for the wedding and the place for the reception, and you have to figure out what food you're gonna serve, and you have to plan out all the decorations and the dresses and the flowers and the tuxes that the groom and the groomsmen are gonna wear and the music. And then after you plan all of that, then the couple days before the wedding, then you have to put it all together. And it is overwhelming. But when you finally get there, it is a huge celebration. And it's a lot of fun. And then when it's over, you can rest and you can look back on it and you can enjoy all of the fun celebrations that you had and all of the great memories that you had, and you can look forward to the wonderful memories and the wonderful life that's ahead for the happy couple. Well, there are some other fun celebrations that we have in this life. One is graduation. Graduations are fun celebrations, but they take a lot of work. It takes a lot of years of working in school. You can see the picture of my husband and I. This is a picture of my husband and I. We graduated from college, from divinity school. It was a lot of years of work to get there, but we finally got there, and it was a lot of papers to write, and it was a lot of presentations to present, and it was a lot of books to read. But when we finally got there, it was a big celebration, a time to look back on all of those memories, and a time to look ahead on all the wonderful things that God would have for us in the future, and a time to rest and to remember and to think about all that God had done for us. Another type of celebration, another opportunity for a fresh start. Just like weddings are a fresh start for the couple, and graduations are a fresh start for the student when they look to the next thing, is when a new baby's born. And my niece Amanda just had the most beautiful baby in February. And you can see a picture of her. She's absolutely adorable. Her name's Caroline. And new babies are a chance for a fresh start, because as moms and dads, we get to dream about all the wonderful things that this new baby has for the future. But they can also be overwhelming, because you got to prepare a lot of stuff. You got to buy a lot of diapers. You got to set up a crib, and you've got to make sure that you have all of the things that you need for a baby beforehand and get all of those things set up. But then once that baby's there, then you get to cuddle and snuggle it, and you get to enjoy and rest and enjoy all the wonderful dreams and hopes that you have for that new baby. So all these things are fresh starts. There's some other fresh starts in our life that maybe aren't quite as obvious, but that happen every year. A new school year is a fresh start. Sometimes we get to the end of the school year and it took a long time to get there, and then we get to go on vacation. And vacation gives us a chance to rest. But you know what? Sometimes it's a hard work to get ready for a vacation, isn't it? So you can see in the picture up here, you can see my family and I, one of the years that we went on vacation to Disney World. And when we finally got there, we were just so happy to get there. But it was a lot of work to get the car packed, to get everything ready. But then we finally got there on vacation, and we had a good time, and we got to rest and relax. And then when we came back for the next year for school and for work, we were rested and relaxed, and we were ready to start new. We were ready to start fresh. Life can be overwhelming at times. We can be overwhelmed with good things. We can be overwhelmed with sad things. We can be overwhelmed with things that are hurtful. We can be overwhelmed looking around us at things that are not right, at people that are maybe not being treated right, or at things that are not just that happen around us. But sometimes God gives us a fresh start. And when God gives us a fresh start, then we need to take advantage of the opportunity to celebrate all the wonderful things that God did, to reflect on all the things that maybe didn't happen the way that we wanted, and see what we can maybe do to make them better in the future, and also to rest so that we have the energy to move forward to do things different. We've got a song that we're going to teach this week, and Kara's going to teach it, and this song is a prayer of compassion. So as we sing this song, I want you, as you learn the motions and as you think about it, to think about it as a prayer asking God to help us to be filled with compassion and to receive compassion from others. So I'll turn it over to Kara.
Hi everyone. Today's song is a prayer, and it's a prayer that God can give us compassion for everyone. I'm gonna teach you the motions, and then we're gonna sing the song. So the first line is may we be filled with compassion. So the sign for filled, you have a cup and like you have flour in the cup and you're trying to level it off when you're baking. So may we be filled, and then maybe we be filled, and then you already know the sign for compassion. So may we be filled with compassion. The next line, may we be filled up to the top of our hearts. So may we be filled up to the top of our hearts. So since we're doing the top of our hearts, we start at the bottom and then work our way up to the top. So the top of our hearts. May we be filled up to the top of our hearts. Then when we have the power, put it like power like that, to make so it's like you're making something, to make something right. So put both of the fingers in the same direction, right? So when we have the power to make something right.
Okay, can you go over that one more time a little slower, Kara? I'm not quite sure I'm getting it. When we have the power
to make something.
Okay, make. Okay, so like I'm making something out of clay, or like I'm screwing in like something to build something. Okay, to make something
right.
Right. Okay, got it. So when I have the power to make something right. All right, got it.
And then may we show, like
show.
You're showing someone something.
That's one of my favorite signs. I like that sign.
God's. You already know that. And love. You already know that.
Cool.
So let's try the whole verse.
Okay.
May we be filled with compassion. May we be filled to the top of our hearts. When we have the power to make something right, may we show God's love. Got that?
Great. Got the first verse.
Let's go on to the second verse. The second verse is may we be shown compassion. So may we be shown compassion instead of giving, you're like receiving. So put your hands like this and then pull it towards you.
Okay, so we're receiving compassion. So we're reaching out and we're grabbing it and pulling it towards us. Cool. So we're receive.
May we be found compassion. Right. May we be found in the center of peace. So this is find or found, like you're doing it in a claw machine and then you pick it up. Like
so
found.
So I've got this is what I'm finding, right? And then so I'm reaching down and picking it up. So I found something. Cool. Maybe found. Where am I being found, Kara?
In the center.
Center. That's easy enough. That makes sense. In the center
of peace. So this is a sign for peace.
Peace. This is another one of my favorite signs. Peace. Because it's like all the things down here are all like chaos, kind of like when your bed's unmade in the morning and it's all wrinkled up. And this is like you're smoothing it out, and so it now looks all nice and soft and cozy, like you want to just get in it. I like that sign.
And then when we have needs, this is the sign for needs.
Need.
I don't know.
Kind of like a hook. Not really sure why that's a sign for need.
It's like that. And then that others can meet.
Okay. That others can meet. That's easy enough.
We have needs that others can meet.
Needs that others can meet.
May we find.
May we find, again, same sign. May we find
God's love.
Cool.
Got that?
I think we've got it. I think we're ready to try it with the music. May we be filled with compassion. Well, I hope you enjoy that song, and we'll sing it again later on in the week, I'm sure. And I hope that you can download the song sheet from the website so that you can look at the words and even read the words as a prayer. In this week's Bible story, we're going to learn about how God, when God gave the children of Israel the laws to live by, how part of the laws that he gave them were instructions for having Jubilee. He actually built into the law instructions for celebrating and for resting. So he told them that there are times to stop. There are times to celebrate all that I've done, and times to look ahead and to have compassion and to rest, so that you can move ahead with new compassion and hope and joy. So we'll look at that in our Bible story this week. But right now we're going to have our compassion prayer. So we're going to put one hand on our head, because compassion starts in our head, and we're going to put one hand on our heart, and we're going to pray together. Joyful Spirit, your loving hands are always creating freedom, release, and fresh starts. Help us do the same today by caring for all living things with gentleness and care. Open us to humbly receive that same care ourselves. Make our hearts smile and our actions sing with your promise of abundance towards the whole world. Amen.